Hey guys, I've had a few questions from people that we know who are wondering how we're able to hit the road for 3 months in our RV and travel the western United States. So I wanted to take a kind of right here at the beginning of our adventure, just a few minutes to maybe help you understand how we can do this and how we feel like pretty much anybody can do this if that's what you want to do. So for me, I own several businesses over the last 15 years that have allowed me a lot of flexibility on, as far as geographical location. We've traveled throughout the United States and in some other countries. Every time we've traveled or vacationed, I've always worked. I may take a few days off or a couple of days off here and there, but I've always had my cell phone, I've always had my computer, I've always been connected to my work in some way. Because of that, I have a lot of freedom and a lot of flexibility. I can essentially be anywhere in the world and do what I do. I don't want to go into great detail, just to let you know, I have a consultancy company, I have a couple of other companies that I operate, and all of the things that I'm able to do, I'm able to do remotely. The one thing that's always tethered us to a geographical location is our kids' school. We do not homeschool. We homeschooled 1 year, many years ago, when our kids were younger, and we loved it, and we did travel a lot then. But we kind of discovered that the full-on homeschool for us, it really didn't fit our family. Casey is a teacher by trade. So she taught for several years, many years, in the public education system, and so she's more than qualified to help our kids with their education. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, our local school district offered a hybrid school schedule where they could go to physical school for a couple of days a week, and then they could do remote learning for a couple of days a week. Or the other option was to go 100% internet-based. We did a lot of discussing internal. We've got 2 children that are out of school, one in college, one that actually works for us for one of my companies. And then we've got 2 kiddos that are still at home with us. You've seen them in our videos. Caleb, who is a senior in high school this year, and Levi, who is in 7th grade. Now, our kids are very active in sports, especially football. It was a very difficult decision, especially for my senior son, who this was his senior year of football. But with all the COVID-19, all of the unknowns, all of the things that we still don't know, knowing that we were going to do internet-based learning, we presented the opportunity to him to travel the country for the next 3 months and left the decision up to him. He took about a week to decide, and decided that for the first half of his senior year that he wanted to take the opportunity to see the things that we're going to see. That's really the reason we're able to kind of hit the road for 3 months, is because our kids were able to detach from physical school, be able to do remote learning. My wife is more than amply prepared to help them with whatever they need help with in school. And then the other thing, we were able to get some IT solutions here on our RV to have LTE 4G connectivity between Verizon and AT&T. And if you're interested in learning about that technology, I can share a little bit. I've got it connected. I'm not an IT specialist at all, but we do have an incredible IT solution that we've implemented here, and it's borrowed from one of our companies that works remotely in very rural places and still need connectivity. So anyway, we've got the technology solution that we needed. We've got the freedom from being tethered to a physical school location, and then I already worked in industry and have created businesses that I can work from anywhere. So that's how we're able to kind of untether from our hometown and take 3 months on the road. The other question is, how in the world can you afford to travel 3 months on the road? Now, I'm not going to get into detail with how much money I make. I mean, I'm not wealthy. I will say that we've learned how to travel with having 4 kids, so there's been 6 of us. We have learned over the years that if we wanted to travel, we were either going to spend a tremendous amount of money on ridiculous things, or we were going to have to learn how to budget and learn how to travel and experience the world in ways that didn't break the bank. Between Casey and I, we've learned a lot of those things. If you've ever experienced RV living, it's actually not that expensive. We got a really good deal on our Geaux Greyhawk 29 MV Class C motorhome, and we're pulling a Jeep. So one of the things is we're not really going to travel constantly. So our plan is to be stationary Monday through Friday at a location, and then travel on the weekends. And when we travel on the weekends, most of the places that we're going to be staying are free because we can boondock. So we'll be expending some gasoline expenses basically when we're traveling from one location to the other. But that's going to be just a short trip between major locations, basically national park areas. During the week, we're going to be stationary. We're going to be working. We're going to be doing school. It's going to be kind of normal, boring days, just like we would have at home, only on an RV from beautiful locations. It really doesn't cost that much to RV travel if you know how to do it. And I will say there are tons of channels, YouTube channels out there that we've learned from. We'll be sharing some of those channels that we love and certainly highly recommend that you subscribe to. We'll be sharing our own tips and tricks along the way. We're no different from any other average family. I don't want to create some illusion that you've got to have some kind of wealth or some kind of superior knowledge from anybody else. Honestly, the way we're able to do this is overcoming some very common fears. The fear of the unknown is probably one of the most detrimental things to anybody's life, to family life, to love and relationships, to business, to work, to schooling. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. Politics, religion, it doesn't matter what it is. Fear and greed tend to pull people away from one another, create dichotomous situations. And I don't really want to get too philosophical, but people that I talk to on a regular basis, they're like, oh, I just can't, I couldn't imagine doing that. That sounds extreme. That sounds scary is what they're saying. Because they've never done it before. And I will say for our family, fear is not something that's not present. I mean, we all fear certain things, but we've never let fear hold us back. I'm not going to say we're extreme risk takers because we're certainly not extreme risk takers. We just have decided that we're going to live life a certain way. And when we have an opportunity, if we're able, we're going to pounce on that opportunity with everything we're able to. So COVID-19 has rocked the world. The response to it, the actual disease, everything about it has changed everyone's life. It's certainly impacted our business. It's impacted our family in a myriad of ways. It's impacted people that we know who have lost loved ones, that have loved ones in nursing homes, and in hospitals, people having babies, that they couldn't have visitors. I mean, all these things have impacted the world through a pretty negative situation. We've chosen to take a very negative thing that's going on in the world and use it as an opportunity to grow and travel. How long we're going to be on the road? We plan 3 months. Could things change? Certainly. We remain flexible. If you don't remain flexible, if you can't adapt to whatever's going on, life's going to be tough. And so you got to be adaptable. You got to be willing to roll with the punches. But I wanted to maybe create a little clarity. I believe that just about anyone can be free of a geographical location. If you have a desire to travel, if you have a desire to be free, financially free, whatever the desire is on your heart, I believe you can achieve those things because I'm proof of it. Like I said, I'm not wealthy, but I've been able to, with lots of good people in my life, lots of good learning, and lots of faith, I have been able to learn how to build a life with my family to have a lot of freedom. But I'm not some uncommon entity. This is not some remote possibility. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I believe that with all of my heart. So if you're interested in learning more about how to be financially free, to be untethered from a geographical location, maybe to travel on a budget, any kind of question you may have about how we're able to do what we do, why we're able to do what we do, ask in the comments below. We'll try to answer questions. I mean, there's a lot of things that are specific to my industry and the things that I do that are not necessarily going to be applicable to you. But what I do for a living and what we're able to do as a family, while it may be unique to us, the circumstance that we've created is not at all unique to us. There are thousands of families that travel the country constantly. They travel the world, and they're untethered. And so if you're interested in doing that, leave us a comment below. If you're able to do those things and you would like to offer some advice to us or anybody else that's interested, leave us a comment down below. Invite us to your channel. Invite us to your blog. Give us some information. Show us what, show our audience what you may have available. We're interested in creating a community of collaborative learning, creating a space where people can come and ask questions and find knowledge, real knowledge. Share what you need to below, ask any questions. We look forward to sharing our exciting journey with you over the next 3 months of traveling to national parks and state parks, all out in the western United States. Anyway, look forward to sharing our adventure, guys.
In a world filled with fear, uncertainty, isolation, chaos, hate, injustice, anger, and disaster. All over the world, people are reimagining life and learning how to survive. Yet we still hurt. We wonder what's next. We worry how we'll make it through. And we grieve for those we've lost. It can all be so overwhelming. Our family set out earlier this year with a massive dream to explore and discover more than ever and inspire others along the way. What we found has changed our lives forever. We have pushed and challenged each other like never before. We've awakened new passions, found true freedom, and stumbled upon a new way to live life to the fullest. 3 months, 12,000 miles, 23 states, 17 national parks, and hundreds of points in between provide an astounding backdrop of discovery and adventure as we travel the western United States and discover God's creation. Connect with us today to join the journey. Share your own stories and fuel your dreams.
And always remember, life is a journey. You hold your map.